Hello Cap. My name is Linda. I am your first officer today.
Hello, Linda. How are you?
I am fine, thank you.
I believe this is your first time flying with me, so I'll explain what I'm doing throughout the entire flight. Okay, today we are flying from Denver, Colorado to Eagle, Colorado. That's KDEN to KEGE. The approach into Eagle County Regional is very challenging because it is a high altitude airport at 6,540 feet, and the airport is surrounded by mountains. Also, this will be a LDA approach, which means the localizer does not line up with the runway heading. Okay, let's get the cockpit lighting the way I like it. And let's check out what's going on behind the cockpit doors. Everything looks good. Go up the overhead, set the panel lighting to 100%, and the circuit breaker lighting to 100%. Okay, let's look at our flight plan.
American 533, are you ready? American 533, flighting 155, maintain 10,000, wind 200,
KDEN to KEGE. So we take off from runway 34 right, and we turn left to head towards the RLG VOR, and we turn left to the AQULA waypoint until we intercept the runway 25 localizer. Alright, let's search for information on our departure airport, KDEN.
1162, heavy to air, where we want to right 60 at Mike. 17 right here, Mike.
Okay, let's look at the 10-9 airport info chart. Okay, here we are at the tarmac. We're expecting to take off on runway 34 right. It has a true heading of 353 degrees. So we need to get on taxiway G, then take a left onto F1. Alright, let's look up information on our destination. KEGE. And let's look at the 10-9 airport info chart. Okay, the ATIS here is 135.575. The runway is 9,000 feet long. The true heading is 253. That's important to note. And we'll plan on exiting to the left on taxiway A6. Alright, let's look up the approach plate for runway 25, the LDA approach. Okay, the localizer frequency is 109.75. Station name is IESJ. The final approach course is 250 degrees. We need to be at 9,800 feet. We fly over the Washi waypoint. Our decision altitude is 8330 feet, and our touchdown zone elevation is 6,540 feet. And we start at the RLG VOR, and then fly down to the AQULA waypoint, and then turn right, intercept the localizer. And Washi, we need to be about 9,800 feet. Alright, let's tune in the ATIS for KDEN.
Denver INTL Information Alpha. 0 Zulu weather. Wind calm, visibility more than 10. Sky conditions 14,500 scattered, 29,500 scattered, temperature 13, dew point -4. Altimeter 3011. Arriving runways 34 left, 35 right, departing runways 34 right, 35 left. Advise on initial contact you have Alpha.
Okay, we have Alpha. Let's tune into the tower, 135.300. Let's set our baro to 30.11.
Top 4152 RNAV to Bugsby, runway 25, cleared for takeoff.
Same thing for the standby indicator. 30.11. Turn on the flight director for the pilot and the co-pilot.
United 775, contact
Let's tune in clearance delivery. 118.750, and let's file our flight plan. Okay, we're flying from KDEN to KEGE. Let's insert the flight plan. And let's request our IFR clearance. Clearance delivery, good evening. Zibo 7378 with Alpha. Request IFR clearance to Eagle County Regional as filed.
Zibo 7378, cleared to Eagle County Regal via runway 34 right departure. Initial altitude 8,000 feet. Squawk 2160.
Cleared to Eagle County Regional via runway 34 right departure. Initial altitude 8,000 feet. Squawk 2160, Zibo 7378. Okay, let's set our transponder to 2160.
Zibo 7378, read back correct. Contact ground on 127.500 when ready for startup. Set the transponder code 2160 as instructed.
Okay, our initial altitude was 8,000 feet. Our runway heading, if you remember, was 353 degrees. Let's go with a 30-degree bank limit. And let's go into heading mode. Okay, let's tune in the tower, 135.300. Okay, let's go down to the CDU. Let's go into the FMC menu and position a NIT. We are at KDEN. That is our reference airport. Let's go into route. That is also our origin. Our destination is KEGE. And our flight number is Zibo 7378. Okay, let's go into the departure arrival page. Let's select our departure out of KDEN. It's going to be runway 34 right. Select route. Let's go down to the next page. So our first waypoint is PYYPP. And our next waypoint is PCKNS.
Tower American 609, we are ready now, 34 left. 69, 34 left, line wind, can be coming in traffic off the parallel. 34 left, line of white, American 609.
And the next waypoint is the RLG VOR. Okay, let's go back into the departure arrival page. Select the KEGE arrival. It's going to be ILS runway 25 with the RLG transition. Select route, activate, and execute. Okay, let's go over the tablet. Let's go into fuel weight and balance. Enter our payload. Payload for this flight is going to be 2,300 pounds.
South 363, you're nav Krieger, runway 34 left, there for takeoff, wind 0507.
And our fuel is a little over 20,000 pounds, that's good. Takeoff weight CG is 22.0%.
Got 3776 or nav nudge from a 34 right, clear for takeoff.
Okay, let's go into the performance landing page. KEGE, we're going to land on runway 25. Runway should be dry. We're going to use flaps 40. Our landing weight is going to be 100,000 pounds. And let's go with auto brakes 3. That should be good.
Frontier 1276 tower or nav.
Yeah, it gives us plenty of safety margin.
Takeoff, wind 09012. Clear takeoff 34 right, or nav getting Frontier 1276.
Okay, let's bring up our approach plate for future reference. Let's go back to the CDU. Go into the performance and net page. Autofill the 0 fuel weight. Our reserves are going to be 2,000 pounds. Cost index is going to be 60.
46, 98, tower 1050.
And we're going to be flying at 14,000 feet.
35 left to the land, 4690.
And cruise winds are going to be 284 degrees at 11 knots.
Got 3776, kind of departure today.
And our IC deviation is -1. Okay, press the execute key. Let's go into the N1 limit page. Autofill or outside air temperature.
141 tower or nav Mikado, runway 34 left.
Alright, let's go with a 26K takeoff. Gives us an N1 of 100.1. Let's go into the takeoff page. Our flaps are going to be 5. And let's autofill our CG, 21.9%. Stab trim of 4.75 degrees. Okay, that gives us a V1 of 123, V rotate of 124, and a V2 of 133. Okay, let's look at our legs. See if we have any discontinuities. No, that looks good. Let's switch over here to plan mode.
Frontier 141, kind of departure.
Let's step through our flight plan. PYYPP, PCKNS, RLG, QNDRY, VOAXA, AQULA, NEWEHAL, AIGLE, WASHII, and runway 25. Okay, flight plan looks good. Go the overhead here. We're flying at 14,000 feet. Our landing altitude is 6550. Okay, let's set our flaps to 5 degrees. Okay, Linda. Runway turnoff lights on.
Tower left there, 25 November, 35 right.
Runway turn-off lights on.
Taxi lights on.
Taxi lights on.
Wing lights on.
Flaps 5 set. Wing lights on.
Beacon light on.
Already on.
Okay, let's get our nav radios set up. The VOR is 113.80. And the VOR is 113.80. And then the ILS is 109.75. Same thing for nav 2, 113.80. And then ILS is 109.75. Okay, our radios are all set. Our V2 value is 133. And let's arm the auto throttle. Auto throttle is armed. Okay, Linda. Before taxi procedure.
Before taxi procedure.
That was 825 tower, room 34 left, line 48. 34 left, line 1, South Bay 25.
Before taxi procedure complete. I am ready for before taxi checklist.
Before taxi checklist.
Before taxi checklist.
Got 3113, Connecticut Brush, connect.
Generators
Contact Park, Skywest 61.
on. Probe heat on.
South Bay 25.
Anti-ice.
South Bay 25, good day.
Wing anti-ice off. Engine anti-ice off. Isolation valve. Auto. Engine start switches. Continuous. Recall.
Checked.
Checked. Auto brake.
Data 478, can I departure?
Rejected takeoff. Engine start levers.
Idle detent.
United 481, RNAV Traeger.
Idle detent.
Takeoff, 106011.
Flight control.
Okay, let's bring up the flight control page. Elevator. Left aileron. Right aileron. Left rudder.
JC 31,
And right rudder.
34 left, line of way. Line right, 34 left, 31.
Checked.
Checked. Flaps.
Flaps 5.
Flaps 5 set. Green light. Detent. Ground equipment.
Got 3231, RNAV Linger. Runway 34 left, clear for takeoff. 07014. RNAV Linger, clear for takeoff, 34 left. Got 3562 tower, runway 34 left, line of way. 4 left, line of way, Scout 65.
Clear.
Number 4564, can I depart?
Clear. Before taxi checklist complete. Ready for taxi.
Data 481, can I depart?
Set stabilizer for takeoff.
Trim down.
Got 3560, RNAV Traeger, number 34 left, clear for takeoff, wind 07010. RNAV Carter, 6560, clear takeoff, 34 left.
Alright, let's switch over to VOR mode.
United 34 heavy tower, RNAV Burke.
And let's set our course to 266, which I believe is going to be our first radial.
RNAV Burke, runway 5, takeoff.
Okay, let's tune in ground. 127.500. And let's request taxi. Denver ground, Zibo 7378 is ready for taxi.
Zibo 7378, taxi to runway tree 4 right. Contact tower on 135.300 when on holding point.
Taxi to runway 34 right. Contact the tower on 135.300 when on holding point. Zibo 7378. Alright, let's release the parking brake. Let's taxi straight ahead. Take a right onto the lighted taxiway.
United 2031 heavy, ground, runway 34 left, taxi to Gulf Whiskey Alpha.
34 left, Gulf Whiskey Alpha, United 2031 heavy.
American 1796. Alright, you got it now, thanks. Gulf Whiskey Alpha.
Okay, we'll take Gulf down to Whiskey Alpha, yeah. I'm going the right way now, American 1796.
Okay, we are looking for taxiway G. Coming up here. Alright, let's take a right on the taxiway G.
American 1796, next right turn, monitor tower 135.3.
35 billion, next right turn, American 1796.
Southwest 1606, ground runway 34 left, taxi via Golf and Whiskey Alpha.
34 left, Golf, and Alpha, 1606.
Okay, we are on taxiway G, looking for F1.
Southwest 1648, do you have the numbers for 34 left? Southwest 1648?
Yeah,
South 1648, do you have the numbers for 34 left?
we have numbers for everything. What do you need? 1648?
South 1648, I was just making sure you're not going to have to set your parking brake to reprogram it in.
We took care of it before we put.
I think.
Okay, we're looking for it.
Yeah, it's 74
Taxiway
there,
F1.
Call that for Southwest runway 34 left, follow.
On the first southwest to 34 left and second point.
Cabin crew, take your seats, prepare for takeoff.
United 2031 heavy monitor tower 135.3 today.
1353, bye-bye.
84 monitor tower 135.3 today.
35, good day, man. Second point.
Citation 9003 Mike Charlie.
Zibo 7378, contact tower on 135.300. Have a nice flight.
Okay, this is taxiway F1. Contact tower on 135.300, Zibo 7378.
United 83, just verify that transponder's on or recycle it.
How's it look now?
United 830, thanks, center.
Okay, let's taxi to the holding point.
Citation 3 Mike Charlie behind the southwest from my 34 left, taxi straight ahead.
34 left, straight ahead behind the southwest.
Okay, this is the holding point for runway 34 right.
Runway 4476 behind United, runway 34 left.
Set the parking brake.
Golf and Whiskey Alpha.
Okay, Linda. Landing lights on. Beacon light on.
Already on.
Before takeoff procedure.
Before
Runway
takeoff procedure.
4476, add Alpha Alpha, give way to Delta out of the ramp.
Alright, we'll give way to Delta.
Before takeoff procedure complete.
Delta 2333 DRK. will
Ready
wait on
for
you.
before takeoff checklist.
Before takeoff checklist.
Before takeoff checklist.
Southwest 1606 monitor tower 135.3
Flaps.
good day.
Flaps 5.
Flaps is not set for takeoff
Citation 3
position.
Mike Charlie monitor tower 135.3 good day.
Monitor tower.
Before takeoff checklist is not complete.
Before takeoff checklist.
Before takeoff
United
checklist.
830 monitor tower 135.3 good day.
Flaps.
Flaps 5.
AC-24 taxi to
Flaps 5 set. Green light. Detent. Stabilizer trim.
2333 monitor tower 135.3 good day.
47 units set. Transponder. TARA set. Before takeoff checklist complete.
Okay, let's tune in the tower. 135.300. And let's request takeoff. Denver Tower, Zibo 7378 on holding point of runway 34 right, ready for departure.
Zibo 7378, wind is calm, runway 34 right, cleared for takeoff.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 34 right, Zibo 7378. Alright, let's go to 20 nautical mile range. Let's turn on the terrain radar. 20 nautical mile range. Okay, let's release the parking brake. Taxi straight ahead, make a right turn on the runway 34 right.
Runway 34 right confirm. I am ready for your takeoff.
Okay, let's set the parking brake. Turn on the cockpit timer. And let's verify we have symmetrical thrust.
Stabilized.
Okay, release the parking brake and toga.
Takeoff thrust set. 80 knots.
Cross check.
Throttle full.
Rotate.
Positive rate.
Gear up.
Gear up.
Zibo 7378, altimeter tree 0.09er. Contact Denver Center on 132.850. Bye.
Acceleration altitude.
Altimeter 30.09er. Contact Denver Center on 132.850. Goodbye. Zibo 7378. Okay, let's contact Denver
1000
Center.
to level off.
1,000 to go.
Traffic.
Make our initial call. Denver Center, good evening. Zibo 778 at 7,800 feet, climbing to 8,000 feet.
Zibo 7378, turn left heading 266. You are 400 feet below your clearance altitude, climb, and maintain 8,000 feet.
Turn left heading
Transition
266.
Ready for approach checklist.
Maintain 8,000 feet. Zibo 7378.
Monitor vertical speed. Clear of conflict.
Number 89 is Charlie Golf, contact center 132.85.
Okay, let's speed up to 200 knots. Flaps 2.
Flaps 2 set.
Flaps 1. And flaps
1
up.
set.
After takeoff checklist.
After takeoff checklist. Engine bleeds. Flaps up set. On. Packs. Auto. Landing gear. Up and off. Flaps.
2420. And take flight level 180.
Up.
Flight level
No light. Detent.
2420.
After takeoff checklist down to the line complete.
Okay, let's speed up to 240 knots. Since we're still below 10,000 feet. Okay, let's set our decision altitude to barrel 8330.
Maintain flight level 330. Flight level 330.
8330. Go down the CDU, go into our net reference page. Set flaps 40 at 126 knots.
United 2420, contact center 127.02. 2702 United 2420.
Traffic. Increase climb. Increase climb. Clear of conflict.
Contact center 132.85. 285.
Traffic.
Zibo 7378, climb to 14,000 feet.
Climb to 14,000 feet. Zibo 7278.
Zibo 7378, turn left heading 255.
Turn left heading 255, Zibo 7278.
Flight level 100. Landing light switches off.
Okay, let's speed up to 280 knots.
To level off.
1,000 to go.
Zibo 7378, expect runway 25.
Expect runway 25, Zibo 7378. Alright, let's complete our approach briefing. We're going to be flying the LDA runway 25 approach into Eagle County Regional. The localizer frequency is 109.75. The station name is IESJ. The approach course is 250 degrees. We need to be at 9,800 feet. We cross over Washi waypoint. Our decision altitude is 8330 feet barrel, and our touchdown zone elevation is 6,540 feet. We're going to be using flaps 40 with a VREF of 126. Start out at the RLG VOR, fly heading approximately 184 to the AQULA waypoint, and then turn right to intercept the 250 localizer. Descent procedure.
Descent procedure. Descent procedure complete.
Terrain. Pull up. Terrain. Pull up.
That's normal for this approach.
Zibo 7378, turn right heading 268. Zibo 7378, turn right heading 268.
Turn right heading 268, Zibo 7378.
Zibo 7378, maintain 14,000 feet.
Maintain
Ready
14,000
for
feet.
descent checklist.
Descent checklist.
Descent checklist. Pressurization.
Landing altitude.
Landing altitude 6,550 set. Recall.
Check.
Auto brake.
Auto brakes 3.
Set. Landing data.
Flaps 40, 126 knots.
V reference 126. Minimum sparrow 8,329 set. Approach briefing.
Complete.
Complete. Descent checklist complete.
Okay, let's slow down to 200 knots. Preparation for our descent.
Zibo 7378, turn right heading 273.
Turn right heading 273, Zibo 7378. Okay, let's go flaps 1.
Open southwest, 471. Southwest 471, maintain follow 380, left complete.
Flaps 1 set.
1916, center climb, maintain flight level 330. Flight level 330, up to 1916, contact center, 127.65. Copy, 765. United 2420, contact center, 127.02. 4702.
turn towards our next waypoint. 184 degrees. Course. Okay, let's listen to the Eagle County Regional ATIS.
Eagle County Regal Information Alpha. 100 Zulu weather. Wind calm, visibility more than 10. Sky conditions 13,500 scattered, 28,500 scattered, temperature 11, dew point -4. Altimeter 3011. Arriving runway 07, departing runway 07. Advise on initial contact you have Alpha.
Okay, we have Alpha. Let's go back to center on 132.850.
Zibo 7378, turn right heading 184.
Turn right heading 184, Zibo 7378.
Saturday afternoon, Challenger 979 Kilo Charlie, 430. Challenger 979 Kilo Charlie, center afternoon.
Approach top of descent.
Zibo 7378, descend to 11,800 feet.
Descend to 11,800 feet, Zibo 7378.
224, going to take center, 127.65. 127.65, Southwest.
Approach checklist.
Approaching transition. Approach checklist. Altimeters.
30.11.
QNH 3011 set. Altitude passing 12,768 now. 1,000 to level off. Approach checklist complete.
Gear down.
Gear down.
Okay, let's
2,500.
tune in the ILS 109.75. Set our course to 250. And switch over to approach mode. And let's slow down to 170. And let's go flaps 2.
Flaps 2 set.
Arm approach mode.
Taxi lights on.
Zibo 7378, turn right heading 197, descend to 10,900 feet.
Turn right heading 197, descend to 10,900 feet.
Localizer capture.
1,000 to go.
Localizer capture.
Zibo 7378, turn right heading 249er, expedite descent to 10,900 feet.
Flaps 5 set.
Turn right heading 249er. Expedite descent to 10,900 feet. Zibo 7378. Okay, let's set our heading bug to our localizer course, 250. Glide slope active.
Zibo 7378, descend to 9,900 feet.
Descend to 9,900 feet. Zibo 7378.
1,000 to level off.
Thousand to go.
United 2121 and flight level 350.
25. Zibo 7378, turn right heading 251.
Turn right heading 251. Zibo 7378.
Glide slope capture.
Okay, let's slow down to 150. And flaps 25. Slow down to 140.
Flaps 25 set.
Flaps 30.
Flight level 100. Landing lights switches on.
VREF plus 1 is
Flaps 30
131.
set.
Flaps 40.
Ready for landing checklist.
Landing checklist.
Cabin crew, take your seats, prepare for landing.
Zibo 7378, cleared for ILS approach runway 25. Contact tower on 119.800 when established. Bye.
Cleared for
Flaps
ILS
40
approach.
set.
Runway 25.
Landing checklist.
Contact tower on
Engine start
119.80 when established. Zibo 7378. Continuous.
Are not set in continuous position. I just set. Continuous. Speed brake.
Armed.
Armed. Landing gear.
Down.
Down. Flaps.
Flaps 40.
Set for landing.
Okay,
Landing
let's
checklist complete.
contact the tower and make our initial call. Eagle County Regional Tower, Zibo 7378 with Alpha approaching runway 25.
Zibo 7378, identified. Continue your approach.
Approaching minimums. Minimum.
Runway in sight. Continue.
Zibo 7378, wind is calm. Runway 25, cleared to land.
Cleared to land. Runway 25. Zibo 7378.
Taxi lights on.
1,000 feet, stabilized, Mr. Perch, altitude set.
Cleared to land runway 25.
400. 300.
Flight slow. Flight slow.
200. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Speed brake up. Reverse unlocked. Auto brake in use. Zibo 7378. Contact ground on 121.800. 60 knots. Yet. Great landing. You are professional.
Contact ground on 121.80, Zibo 7378. Okay, let's contact ground. Make our initial call. Eagle County Regional Ground, Zibo 7378 on runway 25.
Zibo 7378, taxi to gate 9.
Taxi to gate 9, Zibo 7378.
Flaps upset.
65 ground. Runway 24 left, taxi straight ahead on 1 Stop straight ahead for 265 to 3 close.
After landing procedure.
After landing procedure.
200 hotel, 135.3, have a good day.
After landing procedure complete.
Okay, let's see how our landing plots look.
672, monitor tower 135.3, have a good day.
Monitor tower 1353, July 602.
Down there, Canada, 1040, Brett, Bud, 3, Whiskey, Sierra. Air Canada 1040 ground, runway 34 left, back to be a Foxtrot, Whiskey Alpha.
We bounced the landing gear a little. 333 feet per minute. Pitch was +6. 123 knots. Flare started at 47 feet. Flare lasted 7 seconds. Throttle down at 25 feet, that's about right. 1.37 Gs. Spent 4.7 seconds on the rear gear, but we bounced. Alright, that concludes this video.